I did 2 videos about shoulder circles before. This is the 3rd video. In this video I want to put everything together and then show you how to use it in your daily life. And I apologize that every video looks different than the one before. I want to have a consistent format, but I will get to it. I found a white wall in my studio. This is funny. I cannot see what I'm recording because I don't have a flip screen. So you can do this in your bed or on the floor. We continue from last time. Just come onto your side in a side-lying position. I'm on my right side. Maybe you have some pillows. Knees on top of each other, exactly in side-lying position, not twisted. Feet on top of each other. I hope you can see my face. Alright, and then first you just need to hear my voice. That's the most important. If you follow along, and I try to keep it to 9 minutes. Let's see. I need to check the recording level because I don't have a compression on this. There is a compression, but then I also have noise. It's also complicated. It drives me crazy. Okay, so how we start? Just lie there. That's the most important. Actually, just rest somewhere. The older I get, the more I appreciate that. Just be able to rest somewhere, like have my own space, have my quiet space, where nobody's bothering me. All right, that's my space. I rent the whole studio. Oh, okay. And then how does it start? Shoulder movements. Put your hand maybe on your other arm or in front of your chest, somewhere where it's comfortable. Don't put it too high up, just in front of you, so you can find your shoulder movements. And we did this before, like 4 direction, up and down and in front and back, and it's really just the shoulder. You can roll and use the shoulder. Maybe try this. Roll backwards, take the shoulder backwards. Roll forwards, take the shoulder forwards. So that's 2 distinct directions. You can do this a couple of times, or keep your upper body just lying there, which means your chest lying there, and just move the shoulder. So you can move the shoulder and roll with your torso, or you just move the shoulder. You can also roll the torso without moving the shoulder, right? And then there's up and down. So is that easier? You can take the shoulder up towards your ear and move your chest in a side bending. It's not comfortable, is it? Oh. So it's up, down, forward and backwards. And then we had circles. We did this in the previous video. If you haven't seen it, you can just do circles. Circles forward, circles backwards. And don't do crazy circles, but just do like very comfortable movements with your shoulder. Just like you caress yourself, like you're good to yourself. Just a little bit, up, forwards, down, backwards. Just small circles in the other direction. And with the rest of your body, with the rest of yourself actually, try to stay calm, relaxed. If you figure that you have tension in your jaw, just let go of your jaw. It might be a little bit difficult in side lying, because your jaw is going to hang down. Just let it hang down a little bit. Have your breathing relax and have your feet on top of each other and knees on top of each other. Just really lie there. So after having done a couple of shoulder circles for recap, do a couple of hip circles. Hip towards your shoulder, hip away from your shoulder. So this is up, down with your hip going up and going down, going up and going down, going up and going down. And then there's the other direction, forwards and backwards. This means your upper leg slides on top of the other leg. keeping sound in check is not as easy as it sounds. So don't move your foot. Just keep your feet on top of each other and move your knee. So 4 direction with the hip, up, down, forwards, backwards, and then you have circles. And now comes the difficult part, which is do it together. Shoulder downwards and hip upwards, and then shoulder up and hip down. I will guide you through in a system. So either shoulder and hip are going away from each other, the distance becomes greater, or you pull them together. Try to find these 2 lines. So the shoulder and the hip coming together or going away from each other. Have that? If that works, then try forwards, shoulder forwards and hip forwards, shoulder backwards and hip backwards. Try this for a couple of times. That's easy. It's just like rolling forwards and backwards, isn't it? I could do this all day, I think. Just rolling backwards and forwards. Sometimes when I look at autistic people, they do this. They do this in public. They just like this kind of movements. And I like it too. But I'm too embarrassed in public to do this kind of movements. But they aren't. They are courageous people. They just do what they like to feel. They feel if it feels good, then they can do it. You can do it in private. Okay, now getting more difficult is shoulder forwards and hip backwards. It's a twist. Shoulder forwards and hip backwards, or shoulder backwards and hip forwards. It's a twisting movement. Can you find it? Shoulder forwards, hip backwards, hip forward, shoulder backwards. Twisting movement. Do this a couple of times, maybe really slow. Don't bring too much tension in your body. Just try to do it relaxed. Recap. Shoulder and hip together, shoulder and hip apart from each other. Shoulder backwards, hip forwards, shoulder forwards, hip backwards. All right? So that's always apart from each other. So this is, we can put this into 2 circles. 2 circles going in opposite directions. Okay, let's do this. Shoulder and hip together, shoulder forwards, hip backwards, shoulder up, hip down, shoulder down, hip forwards. Try to find these 2 circles in opposite directions. It's not as easy as, it's not really easy, yeah? But try to find these 2 circles in opposite directions. And then the other direction of the circle. Play with this until you are good at this. And if you don't know what you do, you can't do what you want, right? You can come back to center and then start again. How do they do it in the airplanes? They have like a checklist, right? Our checklist is the 2 directions, and then start to do circles. Circles in opposite directions. So just practice this. And now I will show you the same thing in sitting. You don't have to get up if you're already in bed, but you should at some point get to sitting too and either watch it or play along. Let's do it. So when you do this in sitting, you need to be able to sit on a level surface. If you have a chair that has a backward inclined seating platform, this won't work. You have to come really on the edge of such a chair. So you have to have a level seating platform, like my Feldenkrais table. All right. And then you sit upright. Right shoulder goes forwards and backwards. We did this in side lying. And then the other shoulder in the other direction. Right shoulder forwards, left shoulder backwards. and right shoulder backwards, left forward. With the head, you can turn the head with the shoulders or keep the head in front. Try this. Try to keep the head in front. Then you may probably you will need to look at something, so you can really keep the head in front. Yeah. If you lift the right shoulder, left shoulder down, this is going into a side bending. If you lift the left shoulder, right shoulder down, other direction. So far, not difficult. Now, push the right knee forwards and the left knee backwards, which is similar to moving the hip inside lying. So you can rotate your whole body with it, or keep the body straight in front, or right shoulder backwards, left shoulder forwards, and have a strong twist. Keep your head in front, and then left knee forward, right knee backwards, which would be a rotation to the right. And then shoulders in opposite directions. Yeah, you can do this a couple of times until you find this movement and you have control over this movement. So this would be monolateral walking, and twist would be contralateral walking. So try both variations. And then we have shoulder circles. Shoulder circles in sitting. We can do this small, minuscule, not to look ridiculous. And then transfer this into walking. That's a gait pattern. You will find it in walking. And if you look at people in the street, you will find a lot of people who don't have shoulder circles while walking. They walk more like robots. But as a human, we want to have movement. Huh? Not too much. We are not dancing and singing in the streets, but just a little bit to feel comfortable and not to be stiff. Stiffness means pain in the end of the day. We want to be flexible, comfortable. So play with these movements. You can play with them on the bus, in the car, whenever you have time to do like little circles of the shoulders with awareness. Be nice to yourself. Enjoy yourself. That's the whole thing. Maybe that's a secret about life. Be able to enjoy yourself in this kind of way. Have a great day and see you in the next video.